Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, 1 second. Go.
Yes, yeah. What's the name of the podcast, JB?
Nigga, is you deaf? It's a pod named Kickback. A pod named Kickback. It's like a Tribe Called Quest. You say the whole thing.
I was thinking of sitting on that part. I wasn't get it out.
And I heard you over there like, you'll get out? Because I heard it in the earphones. I'm like, oh shit. You missed it. It's all good.
So, welcome to a pod named Kickback, also known as the Black CNN, and the revolution will be televised. I don't know breaks new, the righteous ratchet. If you throw it, I'll catch it. If you got it, I'll match it. Every Monday. We right back at it. I am the Black Savage.
What's up, y'all? It's JD Frank. I'm that gangster geek representing NWA, Nerds with Attitude. Happy Shmonday, and it is Shmonday this time. Not that Schmatterday shit.
Right. We had some couple Saturday shows.
Right.
We probably had something to feature at some point.
Yeah. Saturday worked out okay though. Having Sunday to kind of chill and get ready for work wasn't a bad thing, but
no bull. I slick like this. Now I'm like, it's time to go to work tomorrow.
Right. That's sorry though. We get to properly wind down last week, wind up next week.
Yeah. And that, while you're here, don't forget to subscribe to the Vibe. On all social media at a pod named Kickback. Our Patreon, as JB said before we cut the mics on, is patreon.com/a-pod-named-kickback. That's definitely how you can support the movement. Help us get more mics, better cameras, give me some good outfits or something shit. You know what I'm saying? Get this shit together. But, all right, JB. My left stroke just went viral.
Here we go.
This is our viral story of the week. This is the story we've been discussing on Facebook in the most well-mannered way possible all week. We've never offended anyone during this conversation, and we ourselves have never been offended during this conversation because we all handled it so well.
Yeah, okay. Are you being sarcastic? I really sincerely hope you are. Jesus.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So, I do want to get a little more serious. We've been discussing what Dwayne Wade has let us know, which he continues to let us know, which is the progress with his child going from, I guess, transitioning from a boy to a girl. I think initially we thought the young boy was gay. And that was it. And no idea he now says he's a girl. He feels like he is truly a girl, and they are beginning the steps for him to transition to a girl. He has changed his name. And forgive me for the pronouns. I'm going to say it in a way that will, for anybody who doesn't know, that's going to tell the story. I'm not trying to be offensive, but the little boy, he is transitioning to a transgender girl. Yeah. Well, before I
let's start with two very important things that you said, and it relates specifically to the pronouns. A little boy, a boy of 12 years old is now in the process of transitioning to become a girl of 12 years old. We are still talking about someone who is not only a minor, but also someone who has, shout out to Jules. Thank you for listening, sweetie. This is something that, this is a grown-up decision. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I struggle with, because we're talking about a boy transitioning to a girl, but neither of these individuals are adults. Well, it's the same individual, but this person isn't an adult, so they haven't really truly fully formed their own concept of identity yet, and this is where it gets tricky.
People have I'm very careful with my speech because people have been trying to jump onto anything you say and make you homophobic, make you transphobic, make you worried about you care too much, and all this dumb shit y'all say when y'all don't have intelligent arguments. So I'm gonna try to not give you any fodder. I do think 12 is too young to make any lifelong decision. I won't let a 12-year-old. They probably can't decide their dinner most nights. And depending on what school they go to, they can't decide their clothes. They can't decide who. They can't date. Some 12-year-olds can't ride the train or bus by themselves.
Right.
Some 12-year-olds you won't leave in the house overnight by themselves or at night by themselves. So I don't know that they can't vote. They can't drive. They can't drink. They can't go to war. I don't know that I'm giving a 12-year-old the power to make the decision to change their gender. I am sympathetic to the fact that it is quite possible he is very aware or she knows that I am really a girl. And anything is possible. But I just don't think, one, there's no rush. I don't see what the rush is. And two, I just don't think that's something that a 12-year-old should be making a decision on. I would feel more comfortable if it was a teenager, maybe 16, 18, going into adulthood. I don't see what the rush is. And for people who are, I've been debating with, I want you guys to know that gender and sexuality are not the same. So to ask me, well, when did you first realize you like girls? Changing your gender has nothing to do with what you like. It has to do with who you believe you are.
Right.
So when they're asking me when I started liking girls, it's an irrelevant question.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you ask me when I recognized that I was a man, a boy, a male, I never recognized it. It's just always been. I was born that way, raised that way. It's never come into question. So I don't know what day that started. When I was a month old, when I was a year old, I don't know. It never was not that. And that is what makes this situation different because the child is saying it is different.
Yeah.
It is something different.
Yeah. Well, and you brought up a couple of very salient points that really kind of drive this discussion because you talked about the inability to vote prior to the age of 18. You talked about the inability to, drink or smoke or do a lot of things. In fact, in a lot of states now, you can't even drive until you achieve the age of 18 now. So there's this whole concept of being fully developed as an adult before you put the reins of lifelong decisions into somebody's hands. And sex change or gender transformation is one of those things. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the important point here. You're not invalidating those thoughts or those feelings or those suppositions at all. You're just saying, wait until your mind fully develops so that you can be better informed and better prepared to make this lifelong decision. And another perfect analogy, New, is when you yourself wanted to change your name. Now, I've known you for 30 years, which means I knew you well before you achieved the age of 18 years. If you were to ask me when you decided you wanted to change your name, I can tell you it was years and years and years and years and years and years before you turned 18.
Yes.
The laws of the country would not allow you to change your name until you achieve the age of 18 for a certain reason. And that reason is that a change of name is a lifelong decision. It is an adult decision. The same way marriage is, amongst other things.
I'm going to jump in, JB, because you made an excellent goddamn point just now. And I just want to add on to your excellent point. I decided I wanted to change my name. I was probably in the single digits. Initially, I wanted to have my mother's last name. That's what started it. And I grew up in Mayfair, D.C., and the Nation of Islam was my neighborhood was very, very bad. The National Guard had to come in. The Nation of Islam had to come in to secure my neighborhood, to protect the kids from the shootings and everything that was going on with the drug dealers and the gangs. And so the Muslims were very influential to me because they were the ones that saved my neighborhood, made me feel protected as a 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-year-old kid. And so I started wanting to have a Muslim name. I didn't really know what Islam was because I was only like 7. I just knew that they were different. They had bow ties, whatever. And I started the transformation of changing my name. And you know what? I'll tell y'all something. My name was Ricky. How about that? So I decided to make it Richard. I get a full name, Ricky, kind of like a nickname. I'll make it Ricardo. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to get a Muslim name. It's going to be Rashad. Like, my name, I had about 15, 16 different names. My last name was going to be Shakur at one point. And I said, I can't have Tupac's last name. But it just was, it meant thankful to God. And I thought it was just dope. And I was a big Tupac fan. So I had about 20 names. If you had let me pick my name at 12, I don't know what the hell it would have been.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been good because you were picking your rap names at 12 and some of them were
right.
crazy. Like the Blind MC. MC Dog Shit, remember that shit?
Yo, I literally, it was literally dog shit.
And this was before like the Old Dirty Bastard and all that. So,
damn. I don't hear nobody say that out loud in like 20 years or something.
Because none of us wanted to. Like you came in like, yeah, and we were like,
it was just Ricky.
Let's talk for a second, bro. Like, so you want to call your that created an intervention. We were like, we will not allow that. You've never said that on stage, have you? Not once, right? Not once. Anyway.
Yeah, so let's bring it right back to your point, JB.
Yeah.
And I don't want to make this like we're attacking Zaya. I want to make this about us asking questions and figuring out how to better raise and support these children.
Absolutely.
So, in trying to support these children, this is bigger than Zaya. We're not making it about Zaya. We're making it about the big picture. And JB, you were saying at age 12, I wasn't legally allowed to even change my name. Mm-hmm. So, back to your point.
Yeah, and so, why are we going to allow a 12-year-old to not only choose their sexual identity in such a way that is different than the way that they are born? I mean, that's one thing. But then go through the surgical and the transformation process of actually changing their gender identity. That's something that can never, ever go back. Like, it's something that can't be fixed. And I've read lots of articles of people, in their early 20s or in their late teens who've had this procedure done and now are trying to figure out a way to get it back because they regret that decision, right?
Right. Yeah.
So,
and some of them have killed themselves, after making that decision.
Yeah, it's really, really bad.
At a young age is what we're saying.
Exactly. And let me just end with this briefly, I respect D Wade's hustle. You know what I'm saying? Like, he is a father. He is dealing with this situation that he probably never grew up exposed to, kind of like me. He wants to love his child. He wants to be there for his child. He wants to support his child. And he's doing so as best as he can. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to make it clear that this isn't a knock on him or a knock on his decision. These are just some other considerations that might need to be factored into that.
I absolutely agree with that. This isn't a bash D Wade thing. This isn't a bash Gabby thing. Nobody's bashed in this scenario. Everybody's doing the best that they can. I'm only offering, from my vantage point, that I don't know if it's the best idea to let a 12-year-old make that kind of decision. And that's really it. I'm not saying that, I think what's at least what we would call the age of maturity, you can kind of do what you want. And I think the people that are saying it's okay, is there an age that's too young? And I'm asking you guys that. Is there an age that's too young? Is 10 too young? Is 6 too young? Is 2 too young? I can tell you what age is old enough to trust that thought, and I would say 18. I don't know. I don't think you should be able to do anything surgically, any kind of plastic surgery, any kind of enhancement or whatever until you're 21. Yeah. But I think you can begin that process at 18 if you feel strongly enough about it, and I would support it. I think to go under the knife, you would have to be at least 21.
Yeah, I would. I would
like
prefer. I would prefer it if it were also restricted to an adult age. And honestly, I would prefer that be something that happened by law, actually, so that a part of that whole decision-making process can be taken out of the parent's hand. Now, I know that sounds weird, but there is something that happens in that dichotomy between, the parents and the children when you're trying to support them, yet you're trying to get them. And this happens a lot with preteens and with kids at a young age. You have to get them to wait on certain things that they want to do. Wait to have sex. Wait to go out and drink. Wait to try weed. Wait to do these things until your mind is fully developed and you can understand what you're getting into. Let me ask you guys, okay, you would allow a 12-year-old to re-identify their own gender, but would you allow that same 12-year-old to sit down and do shots with you? Would you allow that same 12-year-old to sit down and drink with you? Or even allow that same 12-year-old to decide whether or not to drink? You know what I'm saying?
And how would you feel about that 12-year-old if they were having sex with an adult? That's what they wanted. So are we vilifying R. Kelly for no reason? Because if they're 12, you can do what you want. And you know what's real to you. And you know yourself. If we're giving that to a 12-year-old, is it only with gender identity?
Yeah, and that's the scary part. And that's the slippery slope. Well said.
And so prayers up for the whole family. I hope everything works out well. I hope Zaya gets to, eventually at some point, whatever her heart desires.
Yeah.
It's not my goal to stifle that. I just want Zaya to be able to make an adult decision.
Yeah.
When it's time to do whatever she feels needs to be done.
I want it to be a well-considered and well-thought-out decision, and a decision that has been prayed on and really moved to in the right way. And maybe that has happened, but I struggle with that for a 12-year-old.
Exactly. For a 12-year-old, I don't believe it's happening.
Yeah, I struggle.
I don't think it's possible, but it's crazier things have happened.
Exactly.
So shout out to them. Keep being positive. You won't get any negativity from us. There'll be no bashing of Dwayne Wade or Gabby or Zaya. We ain't on that. So
nope.
Continue positive energy y'all way. I hope it all works out. Power, JB.
Yeah.
They say it's a big rich town. Hey. They should have put me on the song. I just come from the poet's bar. I could have been better than Trey Songz, and they put him on it for a week.
Oh,
everybody got mad.
Tore everything.
Yeah, they could have put me on that show. They say it's a big rich town.
Tore everything with that shit.
I just kept
So for those of you who have been living under a rock, too fucking bad. It's spoiler alert time. The show's been around for a week now. The finale has been out for a week. So if you didn't watch it before,
fast forward.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Fast forward about 3 minutes.
Yeah, the finale was dope though.
The finale was dope. The series Power, I'm gonna say goodbye to Power.
Yeah,
because it's been one of my favorite shows over the last 5-6 years.
Mm-hmm.
I got into it, I think, going into the second season when I caught on, and I was like, "Yo, this is good." Like, damn, 50 actually has a good show.
Yeah.
Like, this is good. And I saw a lot of similarities in all of us, in Ghost and Tommy, in their brotherhood, and Tasha and the kids, and it was just like, damn, like dude is trying to change his life and get out the game. And I'll say this: they never let him get out. Every time he tried to get out, they brought him back.
Yeah, some bullshit happened. Yeah. No, but you had an interesting theory about how, and I drank too much beer, so I'm gonna step away for a second and have you break down your theory real quick. I'll be right back.
So, as you guys know, about 3-4 weeks ago, whenever Ghost first got shot, and they went into that little break, so I guess about a month or two ago, I said that it was Tariq and Tasha doing it together. Like they came up with this plot to get rid of him, and they killed him. And everybody was telling me, no, it's Ramona, because she's Terry Silver's sister. And I was like, how do you know? What made you think that's Terry Silver's sister? How did the information link to you? It never got to me. So how do you know that? But everybody on the internet was so obsessed with that. And then they had the clip with Tasha shot Ghost, and everybody said that was the real ending. And I just kept saying, like, I think it's Tariq and Tasha. They tired of his shit, and they're gonna do something together to get rid of Ghost. And I did think it was Tariq that shot him, but I thought it was a direct, plan with Tasha. I didn't know the plan was that Tasha was supposed to actually shoot him. But I also said that Tasha was trying to stop Tariq at the end, and she's gonna get there too late.
Right.
So I fucking nailed that shit. Not only should I have sang the theme song, I should have been a writer on the show, JB. I'm gonna create a TV show now based on my knowledge of what was going on, my Nostradamus take.
Nostradamus on Power. You're gonna have a spinoff show.
Yeah, I mean, I need
They have a spinoff show like they're like Talk Power or some shit, kind of like
It's Power Confidential.
Yep.
So it's hosted by Terrence J. So after every episode, they do a deep dive, bring the actors and writers on.
Right.
They kind of recap the episode. The last season was getting on my nerves, and I was like, damn, this is like Game of Thrones all over again with this bad last season. But that bonus 5 episodes, they were really good. I really enjoyed watching everybody go through everything and, they're that day and figuring things out and, trying to figure out who shot Ghost, who killed Ghost. Am I going to be right or am I going to be wrong? Because we're all betting on it. Who you think did it? 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 I do want to say one more time, I was right. But moving on, that's not important that I was right. That's not what's important, me being right. What's important is giving 50 and Courtney Kemp and the entire cast and crew.
He's always been an asshole. In case y'all missed it, my brother is an asshole.
Love me an asshole. I promise you one thing.
Here we go.
I will never change. Check out the New Man catalog. I got songs. But Tariq is going to be something ruthless in the spinoff since he killed his own pops. That's true, me.
Yeah.
Like if you kill your father, it's really who won't you kill?
Yeah, I mean,
who won't you kill?
He had that whole Kaiser Soze, like Michael Corleone thing going at the end of that job. I was like, oh shit, like the look on his face, like the way his face changed. I was like, he looking kind of dangerous there.
He's like, y'all still don't recognize me for who I am. I'm you, Dad.
Right.
Oh shit.
Right.
He was like, you in the way of my future. You on his own line.
Right.
You on his own line. Ain't that what you told Breeze? Ain't that what you told Breeze? You in the way of my future?
Yeah. It was crazy watching. I think
that's how I feel about a mom that never a boyfriend.
What?
He's in the way of my future.
What?
You in the way of my future.
Okay.
I'm you, Dad. I don't know.
I'm like, I don't get that parallel at all. But
she bad as shit. Shout out to you.
Absolutely. The other dope part about it was at the end we got all of these little trailers for all of these spinoff seasons that they're running, and there were so many of them. We were looking at it like that can't pop. There can't be a season for each one because they do a trailer and then the name and then the trailer and then the name. And
Power Book 2, Power Book 3.
Yeah, they did that shit like 4 times. We were like, whoa.
All these shows?
Yeah, and it turns out, yeah, he's got all of those shows. Yeah, for real. 4 spinoff shows. 1, 2, 3, 4 spinoff shows.
And it's looking like each one is going to get 1 season.
Yep.
So each one will have 1 season. So Power Book 2 is Tariq's story.
Yep.
And that takes place, well, they said 48 hours at first. Now they're saying 72 hours after Ghost gets killed. And so it'll be him at school and all of that shit. And Tasha in jail. Cooper Sachs is back. JB's going to make a guest appearance. I heard he might sing the anthem on. Well, actually, I'm going to sing the anthem. They say it's a big rich town.
Tariq is going to try and join.
What is Siri doing?
I don't know. I don't know what Siri is doing. Siri caught on. Siri was about to sing along with you.
This is a solo song, Siri. This is not a duet. But they say we don't look at each other enough when we do the show. So I'll make sure when I'm talking to you, I'm looking at you.
You a dude, young. I ain't trying to gaze into your eyes, man.
That's
I know
what
I know what you look like, man. Well, trust me, if there's somebody else on the couch, then we do look at each other because we need to have a whole other conversation.
Right. We need to record the show with our eyes.
Right. Yeah. When it's just the two of us, we don't need all that. We don't need all of that at all. Damn that.
So Power was great. I know
Absolutely.
you guys were talking about it and all the spin-offs. So we, broke that story here. That each book will be one season. We have Tariq's book, Power Book 2. We have Raising Canaan, which 50 will be on.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be doing the voiceovers. It'll
Right.
be like the Wonder Years, where he's telling the story when him, Ghost, and Tommy first met.
Nice analogy. The Wonder Years. Fred Savage.
I am the Black Savage.
Hey.
Power Book 3, which is Lorenz Tate's episode, which is more about politics. We said it's gonna have a House of Cards feel. That could be good.
Yeah, that's gonna be good. That's gonna be good.
And-
He's such a slimy motherfucker. Too.
Yeah. And Tommy's.
Yes,
in LA,
Tommy's. Yep.
Tommy's episode. So and what will be interesting to see is if any of those spin-offs gets more than one season. And one of them does so well, they're like, we gotta bring this shit back.
Well, he's playing with house money, right? So he's able to double down. So that's exactly what he's doing. He's figuring one out of the four will take off and turn into something else. Or, he could be planning on doing the DC Universe thing. We've seen with like the CW where you fuck around and you get a whole good world universe developed and you can spin 3, 4, 5 shows together and have them have multiple seasons and integrate the stories and have everybody, team ups and all of that.
They gotta do some integration.
Exactly.
At some point in time, we're gonna come back and check on Tariq.
Exactly.
At some point, Tate might. Who else is this? Tate, Tommy. Well, that's that. The other one's when the kids. So that one don't count because that's gonna be a separate universe. But that shit might be the one to take off because that's what I want to see when it was kids that just started learning the game. When he tell Breeze, "You're the way in my future."
Yeah.
I'm you, Dad.
I feel like the two that will take off are Tariq's joint and the Wonder Years joint. I feel like those two will take off because you can do direct parallels between those two and it'll be dope. It should be fun though, man. It should be fun to watch. It's fun to follow, man. I love it too. I love a black man, jumping out there and building this kind of media empire.
And we gotta watch For Life. He has a show on ABC now. He was on Breakfast Club like, dog, they ran 5 commercials of my new show on ABC during the Oscars.
That's dope.
That ABC bag a little different than the Star's television bag.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
50 winning.
Right.
50 winning.
Right. Yeah, I mean we're talking hundreds of millions of dollars, to have a show on a network like ABC. That's he's swimming in a deeper lane.
He's about to do the BMF show. BMF, Black Mafia Family here in
We
Atlanta.
talked about that last week.
Yeah, he's going to be doing that show, so that's going to be crazy too.
Yeah.
So shout out to 50, man. Like I ain't mad at you, homie.
Media mogul. I gotta love it.
Our what the fuck story of the week.
Yeah, this is what the fuck too.
JB, and I know JB's part, African, part Native American. And we found this out because he went to Ancestry.com
No, I did
and
not.
did the test.
No, I did
and
not.
now they have his DNA.
No, I did
And now
not.
the police are looking for JB for the murder of Ghost. And they
You gonna fuck people up. You gonna have people on Facebook talking about JB is a murderer.
JB shot Ghost.
Man hunt for JB.
JB shot Ghost. And so now the police are able to
Oh my
subpoena the DNA for Ancestry.com
Yes.
to do with what do with as they will, like whatever.
Yeah, I mean this is fucked up because these aren't criminals. These aren't people with any kind of criminal record at all. And so they shouldn't be in any kind of database. Now let's be clear, kickbackers. If you are the suspect in a murder or a rape or something like that, where DNA evidence can be evidentiary, they can get your DNA. They just have to subpoena the courts for it. And then you have to give up your DNA sample or they come and they bring your ass to jail. It's just that simple. So this doesn't, in my mind, this doesn't make the legitimate police work easier to me. You know what I'm saying? This makes the shady bullshit easier to me, because now they can pluck your DNA out of a paper bag and decide that you're the suspect in some case somewhere if they want to, if they feel like. I don't know how that works, but it bothers me a little bit. And
Shit.
Yeah, I gotta say that I'm thankful that I didn't do the Ancestry.com joint like I was planning on doing. My gut, something about it just didn't smell right to me.
You know what's crazy? I planned on doing it and wanted to do it, and my siblings are my cousins, as you would don't know. My mother died when I was very young. I was estranged from my father on that side of the family very young. So my cousins on my mother's side of the family became my brothers and sisters, and a few of them have done it. And so we've been able to track. And then my aunt, who raised me, went to Africa with one of my uncles, and did some research. So I know I'm of the Fulani tribe, which spreads across Nigeria and a few other countries. However, so knowing that, I wanted to get deeper, and so some of my siblings, did the Ancestry.com or 23andMe. We verified some of the Fulani lineage in our family even further. So I wanted to do it myself because now that I'm in touch with my father's side of the family, and I know that that family's from Macon, Georgia, and my mother's side is from D.C. I was like, I want to know more now. So I was getting real hyped to do it, and my siblings was like, do not do it. They'll have your DNA. Who knows what they're gonna do with it? And I was like, well, shit, if they clone me, JB, it's more than me. Like, that's the shit. It'd be a lot of happy women if it was more than, what I'm saying? I ain't a problem, but we're talking about party time later. But it would be, it would be a lot of happy people.
Yeah, and that's the scary part about this is that.
But that can get cloned? That's what you're scared of?
Well, no. Well, yeah, actually, that would be a little disconcerting. Two of you walking the earth might be a problem. But it just occurred to me while you were talking about this, though, that it's not only them sprinkling your DNA on somebody, it's them finding someone who might have been a distant relative of yours and somehow them relating that to you because you were in the proximity, right? There's all kinds of weird shit that, like what if your father or one of your maybe your father has got other children out there and one of them got into some shit, but they don't know it's them. They find this DNA and you do Ancestry.com, so now they can distantly link it up to you. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
It's scary. There's no question.
His brother's always watching it and still shit.
Right.
That's why I think it's on now. I don't want to say it too loud, but I think Alexa is on. I usually keep it unplugged. And we so serious wake up and start talking shit in the middle of the podcast just now. So they're always listening, and now they can get our DNAs. That's some scary shit. If you've done Ancestry.me or 23andMe or Ancestry.com, I would look into what your rights are. I don't know what they are, and it doesn't seem like you have any.
Right.
So right. I would do some investigating.
Yeah, that's real because it strikes me as really, really bad. Like I don't think the Patriot Act extends beyond grabbing people's DNA out of private database. That's
I knew Tom Brady was behind this shit.
Tom Brady. Wow. This guy. Oh, and just real quick, let me geek out. For those of you who are listening to us on a loudspeaker, Alexa, up, down, left, right, select star.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, that unlocks super mode for Alexa.
Oh, so, we gotta plug my in, we gotta do that shit.
Yeah, so then she can control like geothermal satellites and all of that good stuff. It's pretty cool. Yeah, that's like the Tony Stark cheat code for Alexa. Yeah.
and if she is listening, Alexa, play a pod named Kickback. Yeah.
That's the other thing, super mode.
Our Donald Trump Shut Up Stupid Award goes to JB's old frat brother, Mike Bloomberg.
I'm not that old, y'all.
What's his name? Mike Bloomberg?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Mike, I knew you knew because y'all was frat brothers. Bloomberg, former mayor of New York, I believe, who's now in the presidential race. And he's been getting a lot of flack for comments he made about I guess the dive in the real estate and the finance game, and he went on to, he elaborated saying that it was mainly due to getting rid of redlining, I guess, is what he said. He basically alluded to the fact that, the Fair Housing Act allowed banks, will force banks to start giving loans to people in underprivileged areas who couldn't afford the loans, and that's what got us into this situation. I think that's a small view. There's a lot of television in that. I think there are other mitigating factors. I'm not gonna say it's racist. It's racist-ish, and he's coming under attack for that. Being though every black person in America now, he's their new favorite white guy. All the black males are now supporting him. He was a Republican, then a Democrat, and an Independent, and he's down with OPP. He's doing a lot of shit.
Yeah, basically, for those of you who've been living under a rock, again, Bloomberg has decided we need to do whatever the fuck we can to get Trump up out of there. And I'm going to spend however much money. If it's a money thing that's going to make this whole thing happen, Bloomberg was like, I'm all in. And so that's what he's doing. Now, related to your comment specifically about the housing market, a lot of what he said was improperly worded and put in such a way that it could seem elitist and racist. He put it in the wrong words, but in terms of lining up the facts, the historical facts, he was in essence accurate. There were a lot of loans issued to lower income families whereby they couldn't afford those loans. However, the part that he missed was the bullshit that they were doing to sweep those loans through. A lot of those loans should not even have existed under conditions that they did. If you're giving people low interest loans and then have the interest rate jump in 5 years, then you're not giving them a loan that they can afford the property. And you set it up that way to fool them, right? That's the part that he didn't talk about.
Break that shit down, JB.
Yeah.
Gangsta geek, nigga.
Yeah, so what happened is there were these mortgages. There were two different types of stipulations that were allowed. They were called, I forgot the real technical term, but in essence they were called liar's loans. And then they were called ARM loans, or adjustable rate mortgage loans. Now the ARM loans would start you out at like a 1.52% interest rate for the first 5 years of the loan. Okay. So you could get like a $350 house and be paying $700 a month in mortgage for the first 5 years, right? Now what would happen after the 5 years is that mortgage would balloon to 10%. Now the concept was you were supposed to pay enough of the house down so that you could refinance and get a normal mortgage within 5 years. But you're giving this loan to people who don't have a lot of disposable income. So they're not saving the money so that they can buy a better mortgage later. They're just spending the money because it looks like free money to them.
Okay.
5 years down the line, now that mortgage has tripled. It's gone from $700 a month to $2,100 a month or more. Now it becomes something unaffordable, people don't pay it, and the mortgages happen. And the house is upside down because the market exploded. So the house wasn't even worth what it was loaned out for to begin with. So now the bank is stuck with a bankrupt, foreclosed, upside down mortgage. They paid $400,000 for a house. They foreclosed on it, and even if they sell it again, they're only going to get $200,000 or $300,000 back from that. That is why the banks fail. That is it.
That's deep, JB. JB brought that shit the fuck down.
You need to understand.
So Bloomberg, if you're not gonna tell the whole story, shut up, stupid.
Yeah, there it is. Just that simple. That's it.
Our Nipsey Hussle Award.
Yeah.
We're actually gonna give out two because today marks the 2nd year anniversary of Nipsey's debut album, Victory Lap. We know Nipsey had 1 billion albums and mixtapes before, but his first official album release that was Grammy nominated before he was killed, so he earned it for show, was Victory Lap, and it dropped today. And it's cool to see all my posts last year today talking about, my nigga Nipsey dropped, this is my favorite rapper, and then to look back on it and be like, damn, man. You know?
Yeah, sad and sorry that he's gone, but yeah, that's a dope award to give. I mean, we named it after
He
him.
gets his own award.
Yeah.
What other show has a Nipsey Hussle award
Yeah.
for excellence in achievement other than Upon Name Kickback?
Indeed.
And it's always dope to give Nipsey his namesake award. It's dope to give Donald Trump his namesake award too. I know we got Donald Trump Shut Up Stupid award.
Well, we tend to do that a fair bit though. He's still around fucking up, so.
Right.
Yeah.
And, one of our queens.
Oh man.
One of our queens.
A true queen. A true lady.
Michelle Obama.
The first lady.
The first lady. Is going to have a school named after her in California.
Yeah.
So it's in Northern California, so that's
Yeah, it's
Oakland,
near. Yeah, it's near like.
Southern California is LA, right?
Yeah, no, Southern California is LA, Northern California is Oakland, and this is actually Richmond, California.
Oh yeah, that's right
outside. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know how you guys should be all Oakland.
I know. Yeah, but this is dope because they wanted to come up with a name that was impactful and showed their commitment to diversity, their commitment to being all inclusive, and it's supposed to be a brand new facility as well. So this is just dope all around it, and they couldn't have picked a better person to name the school after me.
I agree. It was a unanimous vote. It's an elementary school.
Yeah.
That's dope.
It's dope all the way around.
I like it. I love Michelle. I gotta finish her book. I got it on Audible, the audio book, and I have not finished it. I'm sorry. It's great, but I just haven't finished it, and it's my fault. But I will.
These things happen.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to. I'm gonna make this commitment. I'm gonna start it tomorrow. Cause usually in the car, you know what's crazy? In the car, and I make the Upon Name Kickback playlist, and that's normally what I'm listening to. But I'm listening to podcasts and books now. I'm on my JD Frank shit.
I told you, man. Once you got in the books, saying it was gonna be good.
Yo, I was at the leaving the liquor store, JB pulling up. I had JB pulling up with a book playing. I'm like, this nigga.
Yep.
And this was Friday, right?
Yep, Friday. After work.
Nigga pulled up. You know, we live in the same neighborhood. And you pull up, I see him, and all I hear is some white man talking.
Yep.
They be listening to some shit.
Yep, fantasy book. The Dresden Files. Excellent audiobooks for those of you who are into fantasy. Maybe I'll geek out.
What's that about?
So it's about a wizard, but it's set in modern day Chicago. Now the series has about 15 books in it, plus 3 or 4 side books. And it started about, easily like 15, 16 years ago, easily. But anyway, it's set in modern times, and it's about a guy who's a private investigator, but he is an openly practicing wizard. So it's about him dealing with all of this magical shit, but in the context of like modern society, dealing with the cops and modern evidence and all of that kind of shit. It's really, really cool. And he intersperses like all of the fairy tales you've ever heard in your life into the story. Fairy Godmother, 3 Billy Goats Gruff, Red Riding Hood, Santa Claus, all of that shit.
Everything.
Yeah, everything. It's really, really dope.
That's what's up. Another fantasy thing y'all should check out.
Yes.
You too, JB, need to finish it.
I need
Lock
to
and
finish
Key.
it. Yes, I need to finish it.
I started it Friday. I started a couple days earlier and was doing other shit. And I was like, oh, this one of them shows I gotta watch. So I put it on Friday night. I finished it Saturday morning. This weekend. So that's what my Valentine's Day with the kids of Lock and Key. Damn, Valentine's Day, did you do anything?
Nah, not Valentine's. Shit, no. You saw me on Valentine's Day. No,
I didn't. Then we went to the store.
Yeah. So no, I didn't do anything Valentine's Day night, but I did hang out yesterday and today. So it was a good Valentine's Day weekend.
You want to tell us who you were hanging with? What's going on?
No, I don't.
Jay, we gotta start sharing it.
I ain't sharing that shit. That's between me and my Valentine. Me and my Valentine. If you want to know what's going on, you should be there.
Man, the only thing I did was I went to a polytime party.
Right, you got to talk about that. Though.
Yeah,
you got to
so,
break that down.
You know, polytime is a polyamorous event for those of you familiar with polyamory. And I went with my polycule, it's really more like a family, but it's a group of people. We went and partied and we got shit faced, and it was a good time. And but there were a lot of it was like in a mini mansion kind of, so it was kind of fancy. You're like, oh, this is nice. This is okay. And I was G'd up. I ain't gonna post no pictures because I'm gonna wear that outfit again. But just trust me, I was G'd up.
All right.
I might post a picture. I don't know. I gotta see. I'm wearing that outfit again soon. I don't want niggas looking like, hey, he got this polytime outfit.
You gonna wear that shit to work tomorrow. What's up?
Yeah, walking. Hey, everybody. And somebody in my job was like, I saw you Saturday.
You gonna be on some Facebook post, some Instagram
post. Yeah. I ain't thinking about that. Damn it. Yeah, you're probably right. But back to Lock and Key. I don't want to spoil it for people who haven't seen it. So I will say this: it's about kids, it's magic, it's demons, it's good guys, it's bad guys. It's written well.
Yeah.
It's you get through probably the first episode or so, and that's like, oh shit, and you do that from like episode 3, 4 until it ends, and it had one of those great endings where you're like, get the fuck,
okay.
And there's a lot of anticipation for season 2.
Okay. That sounds good. I tried to get through the first episode, but like you, I wasn't really paying attention. So it just kind of fell on its face for me. Mainly, I just fell asleep on it. I need to go back and watch it again. Another Netflix show that I was watching new is October Faction.
I heard about that. I heard of it. What's that about?
Okay, so October Faction is about this group. And they're like a secret service organization, but their job is to kill monsters. They hunt and destroy the monsters. They're like the guardians of the earth or whatever against monsters. Now it's an interesting story because the story is about them raising their children while they're doing this job. And there's some really, really interesting plot twists in there. A lot of phasmatastical shit, magic and monsters and all that good stuff. But it's a really dope series. Really nice.
Okay. Another one we need to bring up is the Who Killed Malcolm X documentary.
Yes.
I watched it. I enjoyed it. I enjoy anything with Malcolm in it. To see Malcolm in there, some footage I hadn't seen before. For those, we talked about me changing my name earlier. One of the biggest influences in my life is Malcolm X. One of the biggest reasons I changed my name is Malcolm X. One of the biggest reasons I started down the path that I've been on is Malcolm X. He is probably my singular biggest hero. And I don't make no apologies about it. Like, my heroes aren't yours. My heroes are like Malcolm X, Tupac. Like, I know niggas' heroes ain't Tupac, but it's mine. Malcolm X is
Nothing
mine.
wrong with that.
You know
Nothing wrong with that.
And I often wanted to get to the bottom of who killed Malcolm, and it looks like we do. That's all I want to say. I want to give people a chance to watch it. But it looks like we do figure out exactly who was involved, exactly who shot what, exactly who had what weapon, and the actual weapon that delivered the death blow, and who shot that weapon.
Yeah, and so let me add this. The evidence that comes to light in the documentary is so significant that the Manhattan District Attorney has actually agreed to reopen the investigation into Malcolm X's death from 1965. So the evidence that was shown in this documentary, the documentary itself has been so impactful amongst our populace that the District Attorney of Manhattan felt obligated to go back and look into the investigation given all of the pressure that's coming from the people. So again, another message here, Kickbackers, is that people does move action in government. People can move action in government with their voices and their actions. Write your congressman, write your state senators, write your local officials, because you can make change.
Absolutely, man. And on a lighter note, so watch October Faction.
Yes.
Watch Lock and Key.
Yes.
And watch Who Killed Malcolm X.
Who Killed Malcolm X. Yes.
And soon you'll be able to watch on Netflix, like everything else, for our Netflix and Chill segment.
Yep.
The Nipsey Hussle documentary. Done by Ava DuVernay, who did 13th.
Yep. Who
should have picked up 24 Hours to Brooklyn, Shmeen's movie. And, we'll get on about that later. But I'm excited. She does great documentary work. Nipsey videotaped everything. He was constantly filming his own documentary of his life. So I know that there is shit tons of footage. And to see how she divides that footage up and along with the family and brings this to us via Netflix, I'm gonna love it. The family did release a statement saying, we haven't chosen the company yet. Don't trip. This is all premature. But another report came out saying that Netflix did, Ava DuVernay's company did outbid everybody else. It did say it was like multi-millions of dollars to do it.
Yep.
And they're all going with Netflix. So if that changes, if it's presented on a different platform, we'll come back and make an edit and correct ourselves. But as of right now, it looks like it's going to be on Netflix. And I'm excited. I love seeing Nip. Like I said, he's one of my favorite rappers.
Yeah, it's gonna be that's gonna be a nice story to hear it told, and I want them to take their time and do it right. Really edit the footage. Really take their time and do it right. We ain't in no hurry. We can wait for them to really take their time and give us a good doc.
Hell yeah. And I believe Ava will do that, and the family. It's so important not to do it.
Absolutely.
Now, I mentioned that Nipsey is one of my personal favorite rappers of all time. But Billboard magazine put out their top 10 rappers of all time list. And I want to read you guys their list. And it has been a struggle to come up with my own list, and I think JB, you struggled as well.
Yeah.
I know who my personal favorites are.
Yeah.
But taking out my bias and going who's the best has been a little bit challenging. But I'll read you their list, and we can go from there. So at number 10, they got Lil Wayne. At number 9, they had Kendrick Lamar. At number 8, they had Ghostface Killah. At number 7, they have Lauryn Hill.
Whoa.
At number 6, they have Andre 3000. At number 5, they have Nas. At number 4, they have Rakim. At number 3, they have Eminem. At number 2, they have Jay-Z. At number 1, they have Biggie Smalls, Notorious B.I.G. This is an interesting list.
Yeah.
To say the least.
Yeah.
It is not my list.
Yeah. To be perfectly honest with you, they brought up one dude that I had totally forgotten about when I was coming up with my list, and that's Biggie. But that's the only one that kind of jumped out at me.
And they made him number 1.
Yeah, I don't know that I would have done that either. I mean, he's definitely in my top 5, though, no question about that.
Yeah, I used to penalize Biggie for not having a big enough discography. Right. But time and history, like you can throw the Biggie album now, it's gonna sound better than everything else out now. Yeah. Like, it just stood the test of time, and that is what inched Biggie up in my list. Yeah. Biggie was not in my top 10. No, he was. Nas was not in my top 10. Biggie's music aged beautifully, and Nas' lyrical ability, song making ability aged beautifully. Absolutely. And that's what I know. That's like a hot take. Biggie and Nas were not in my top 10 before. But they were in my top 5. They may have been at the bottom of my top 10, but they moved up. Right. They played a more significant role. Yeah. I put together a list, my own list. It's subject to change. Right. But I wrote the list, and I said, I'm going to change it. I just wrote it, and this is what it is, and I'm going to read it to you as is. But it's probably, it could change. It could change. But I wanted to stand on something. I made like one edit right before the show, and this is what I have now. And judge me. I want you to. I'll go from 10 to 1. So, okay. At number 10, I have LL Cool J. Really briefly, there were several points in hip hop history. LL was the greatest rapper of all time.
Yeah.
He coined the phrase "GOAT," which is greatest of all time. His discography, you can put it up against anybody's. He's older, so he's not, he was a peer of Run DMC. He was a peer of Rakim. He was a peer of Jay-Z. He was a peer of Cannabis. And he was a peer of Chance the Rapper. Like, he's existed for decades.
4 of them.
5, maybe. Cause Lil Wayne said he was in 4.
80s.
I'm like, Lil Wayne was in 4.
2000, 2010.
2020s. We're in 2020s.
That's 5.
Yeah, 5 decades. And he has new album coming out this year.
Yeah, then it's 5.
With Pharrell. I think it's Pharrell. I think it's him with Pharrell.
Yeah.
So that's number 10, LL. Number 9, Redman. Redman, who shares my birthday, when he first came out, I thought he was the best rapper ever. I was like, this nigga is better than everybody. Like, this is weird. He's better than everybody.
Yeah, he was a prodigy when he came out.
The Superman Lover series that he has on all his albums. What the album. Money Waters. And then he kind of, to me, fell off a little bit, and he came out with Doc's the Name. And I was like, yo, Redman still popping? And I have Redman on our latest playlist with the song Slap the Shit Out You. And I'm like, man, it's not just an Aries 417 birthday thing, but Redman is one of my favorites, and I think he's one of the best. And I think he's Eminem's biggest influence. And Eminem named him number 1 on his list.
Interesting.
So I give Reggie that. At number 8, I have Nas. I know everybody else has Nas higher. I know you're all mad at me, but I just don't think he made enough good albums. His beat selection was trash most of the times, but he shined beyond that. And his catalog, I'm not going to say it's aging gracefully, but Nas is aging gracefully. Nas's songs, I'm a bigger Nas fan now than I ever was.
That's fair. I think you probably appreciate his lyricism more now than you did before,
Yeah. Number 7, I put Biggie right above Nas, only because Biggie didn't live long enough to have as many missteps. And we have to give Biggie credit for 2 classic albums. If you do Life After Death is 2 albums, there's a double album, then that's 3. And his mixtapes beforehand, Biggie was just special. He was just special.
Shit, too much beer. Keep going.
All right. At number 10, 9, 8, 7.
You're on 6.
Number 6, I put Big Daddy Kane. Big Daddy Kane is the rapper that I patterned my style after the most when I was a rapper. He made songs for the ladies. He made pro-black songs. He was a 5%er. He made lyrical battle songs. And you would get the occasional gangster shit from Kane too. Kane delivered on every platform, every genre of hip-hop, R&B rap, pop rap, gangster rap, pro-black rap. He delivered in every category, and he was the shit in every single genre of hip-hop that he decided to delve into. He did a damn song with Rudy Ray Moore, doing the dozens. He did a damn song with Barry White, a love song. You know what I'm saying? Like, he wrote Raw. He did Set It Off. He wrote Wrath of Cain. I don't know what else to say. At number 5, the only rapper who I listened to their mixtape and contemplated retiring from rap for about a month or 2. I said, there's no way I can be better than this.
I remember when
I
you said
should
that.
just stop.
Maybe
I should stop. And that's Lil Wayne. I will admit, the last couple of years, but Lil Wayne's career from very first album up until 2015, I don't know anybody who's really had a decidedly better career. So I got Lil Wayne in my top 5. Number 4, one of my personal favorites, Scarface. Scarface storytelling rap, that gangster shit, talking about mental health disorder, giving you crazy visuals and stories. I think Scarface is the greatest rapper to ever come out of the South, and I put him at number 4, period. Rakim, number 3. Rakim has been number 1 most of my life, but there were 2 rappers that, in my opinion, outshine Rakim. Rakim created a new style in hip-hop, the monotone flow, that laid-back, smooth shit, with conscious messages, and his delivery, his cadence, his swag. swag, his 5% swag. Rakim was the greatest rapper of all time for like 20 years. And then he got choppy after that. And a lot of you youngins don't even remember that. We don't even know who the hell he is. So I don't expect you youngins to really, feel that. But like, yeah. Number 2, I have my personal favorite rapper of all time. My favorite, Tupac. His influence, his flow, his albums, his discography, his everything Tupac did was great. He wasn't the most punchline metaphor-y nigga, but Pac, when he rapped, you felt it. And I don't think anybody's ever made us feel the way Tupac made us feel. And that counts for a whole fucking lot.
Yeah, I mean, he was inspiring. No question about that. No question.
And number 1 is inspiring as well. I got Jay-Z at number 1 based on his discography, his influence on hip-hop, his ability to change his flow, his ability to influence generation after generation after generation. And now him going from, vanity rapper to conscious rapper and giving us everything in between. And his last album at the age of like 47, 444, is arguably his best album. So you got like, if Jay-Z, God forbid, if he died today, I think people would say his best album is his first album, and number 2 is his last album. And when you can do that with a career that spanned 30 plus years, and people say your last album might be your best ever, I mean, that kind of speaks for itself. I want to throw out one honorable mention. We came up with a couple because you asked me about it. Kendrick Lamar, Coogee Rap. My one honorable mention that I want to throw out, aside from everybody, is T.I. I want to throw T.I. out.
Yeah, you gotta throw T.I. in there.
T.I. is in my top 10. I don't know who leaves, but I'll take somebody out to put T.I. in. That's how strongly I feel about T.I.
Right. Well, rather than covering over my entire top 10, because again, we're brothers, we've known each other for 30 years. Most of your top 10 is mine. So,
you give us the ones that I didn't name.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect.
Exactly.
Perfect.
You mentioned Coogee Rap honorable mention. I brought him up earlier. I would slide Ice Cube in there just because Ice Cube just made some of those like transcendental songs, like just songs that everybody knows, everybody remembers, like, and he just has such a distinctive style. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. MC8 is another one of those kind of people don't really talk about him a whole lot, but I brought him up off the air when we were talking about cats who just were just incredible lyricists and who created their own style that was just so unique and so special that you couldn't, you know what I'm saying? It was like, what? And this is the one that's going to throw everybody off, but it's not going to surprise you at all because I had their debut album. I listened to it like 87 times.
First time I heard it, you played it for me.
Yeah, you know who I'm talking about, right? Das Effects.
No, I was thinking EPMD.
No, I was thinking Das Effects this time. That's why I said I'm going to add a little different. They came I still know that whole song by heart. And then the last one, of course, is Eric Sherman from EPMD, as you brought up. Yeah, I brought him up.
Das Effects was crazy. They created a whole style.
That's exactly why I brought them. They all by themselves, and it was crazy.
And their punchlines were ridiculous. They should get mentioned amongst the top groups of all time. They should definitely get mentioned. It was something weird happening. Like
they only did like 3 albums.
Yeah, and when they did their second album, they just didn't hit.
Right.
It was just weird.
Yeah, it was like because it was the same sort of style, and I think the shine kind of got worn off of that style.
The blooms off the rose. I learned that watching some TV show. My show with the vampires, the originals.
Yeah.
The blooms off the rose. If you want to debate us on our list, please feel free to do so. Hit us up on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Christian Mingle, Black Men Who Love Good Pussy. We're on all those sites. Thank you back. A guy who we thought would be in the top 10 but never released the album is now saying he's releasing an album. Jay Electronica says his debut album was coming in 40 days. He said that about 5 days ago. And the rumor is that Jay-Z is on like 11 of the 14 songs.
Wow.
So this is damn near a joint album with Jay-Z.
Yo.
Like, whoa. And Jay Electronica is a 5%.
Right.
Jay-Z, of course, is a 5%. And I'm a 5%. And I can only imagine the knowledge that's going to be dropped on that album. I look at this as 444 times 4. Nigga. Like, this shit going to be crazy.
Should be a lot of fun.
It should be educational.
Yeah.
Like, crazy. And before we get out of here, we got to talk about NBA All-Star Weekend.
Yeah.
So before we get to the highlight, let's go with the skills challenge.
Well, let me say this to start out,
Okay.
real quick. Shout out to the NBA and the All-Star Committee for naming the All-Star MVP award after Kobe Bean Bryant. It is now the Kobe Bryant All-Star MVP award. So definitely want to shout them out for that.
And I know everybody's gonna try to win it this year because it's the first year and it's Kobe.
Of course.
And they paid a tribute to Kobe, and I like what they did. You know, everybody's doing the 24 seconds or the 8 seconds or the 24.2 for his daughter of silence. Instead of doing that, they did a moment of cheering. And they also included late Commissioner David Stern.
Hey.
So they did a tribute for Kobe, Gianna, and David Stern. But for 24.2 seconds, they had the building scream as loud as they could. And just in love and support.
That is
and
awesome.
And it was like, get louder, get louder. And he was like, ah! I was like, ah! I was in the hotel, but I still was like, ah!
You gotta love how New would give you that Eddie Murphy scream. So, he do it just like Eddie Murphy, don't he? Kickbackers. That shit is crazy every time he do that shit. Wow! Like, why you look like that?
That's probably where I got it from.
Yeah, you look just like that nigga.
Shit. Is Coming to America come out this year?
Oh my goodness.
Was it next year?
I think
I
it's
hope
next.
it-
I hope it's this year.
It's January, what's February?
Yeah.
It could be this year.
I hope it's because
No,
it said like
they finished recording.
yeah, so it was like May or something of was it this year?
It's gotta be this year. They done.
That would be dope.
I can't wait to go see that shit.
Oh man, that's gonna be funny.
I can't wait to see that shit.
Yeah, man.
And I can't wait to see the game tonight because we're recording right before the game starts. The skills challenge, is passing, dribbling, shooting, and they match a big against a small. So a forward against a guard, and in the first round, like 4 forwards and 4 guards. Each forward won, and then it was the forwards against each other. And Bam Adebayo for the Miami Heat, who actually played center. He's a 6'9" center. He actually won, and he made his threes. So shout out to him. In the 3-point shootout, we had one of our guys, Davis Bertans, Latvian.
Yeah, Latvian.
The Latvian Laser was one of the greatest 3-point shooters in the league this year. 6'10", stroking. He made it to the finals, but he wound up losing to Buddy Hield of the Sacramento Kings. Buddy Buckets is what they call him, and it was crazy. It was clutch. He was down by like 9 points going to his final basket, where you put all your money balls, which was 2 points. Oh, and they never have 2 areas where the shots are worth, I think, 4 points or 3 points, where they're really far Steph Curry type threes. Davis Bertans of the Wizards was the only one that made both. Shout out to Davis, the Latvian Laser. But what the fuck was it? Buddy Hield had to make every one of his money balls to win on the last bucket. So he was down by 1 point with 1 ball left, and he shot it in 1 by 1. As time expired. That's as exciting a 3-point contest as you're going to get.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
But the highlights.
I'd say break it down though.
But the highlights.
Yeah, man. Woo.
The dunk contest. And I'm going here to say it. Hot take. Everybody listen. The greatest dunk contest of all time.
Yeah.
Here's the bullshit though. They robbed Aaron Gordon for the 2nd year.
Yeah, that was
Aaron Gordon of the Orlando Magic beat Dennis Jr. of the Miami Heat. He didn't kill him. He didn't beat him by a lot of points, but he won. They robbed him on that last dunk.
Last time.
They had Dwayne Wade
like
as a judge.
triple overtime or some shit.
Yeah, they did triple overtime for the dunk contest because they both kept getting 50s. Aaron Gordon had a 50 all the way into his final dunk.
Right.
But they gave him a 47 and they gave Derrick Jones a 48 and made him the winner. And I think Dwayne Wade took a point away because he wanted to Miami. He got to win. It was total bullshit. Aaron Gordon, I'm saying another hot take, is the most creative dunker in the history of the dunk contest.
Yeah.
And we're about to lose him. He said he's never going to do it again. They robbed him twice. And I will agree. This isn't being a sore loser. They robbed him twice.
No, they legit robbed him this time because he got all perfects on all of his dunks all the way through the entire contest. I don't even know how the hell it got. I mean, I guess they did a final round or whatever, and then both of them started getting a string of perfects, which got it into overtime or whatever. Yep. But if you got perfects all the way through and this other dude didn't, then shouldn't he be the de facto winner?
Right, that's because he took his shoes off and was like, I'm not dunking no more. I have only perfect scores. I have 5 straight 50s, and we're in double overtime. Just stop it already and give it to me on points. And it's bullshit. It's total bullshit. That is the only black eye to the NBA All-Star weekend so far. Yeah. Haven't watched the All-Star game yet.
Right.
But the fact that Aaron Gordon got robbed twice, and the fact that I will not be able to see him dunk again because he's so sick of getting robbed is a fucking travesty.
Yeah.
He's the greatest dunk contest participant ever.
Yeah, I mean, and you talking about
better than Vince.
Yeah, you talking about folks who watch Vince Carter dunk. You talking about you talking to people who watch the first foul line dunk in the dunk contest, the first windmill dunk in the dunk contest. Yep. You know,
we was watching that shit as little kids. Oh shit, JB, what you call it? It happens.
Shit. All right, well, finish us up. God damn. I'm sorry.
For y'all listening, JB just spilled this drink on my alpaca rug. This alpaca. You remember that shit? What's the movie?
It's alpaca. You blocked that shit.
Yeah. American Gangster.
With Denzel Washington.
Yeah.
You blocked that shit.
I think I might have actually taught you the black technique.
Yeah,
one of my older brothers in Maryland.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I spilled something. You were like, you blocked that shit. I was like, yeah.
It wasn't alpaca though.
Well, you know, it still got to get clean though. It still got to get dealt with. My bad, you know.
All good. I want to thank you guys for tuning in with us this week. Last week's show, Trigger Warning, did very, very well. Very thankful for all the support. And we have some special guests coming up the next 2 shows. Fucking, I tell you, you have Deion Sanders.
Yeah.
We have a reality show star that's going to be on the following week. So we got some interesting things going on. I'll be on Jay's podcast at a live event this Saturday. JB, make sure you slide through at a smoke shop. I think it's Edgewood Smoke Shop if you guys want to come out. And we just going to keep doing our thing and preparing for our live show.
Indeed. Sign
up for our Patreon to help support and get the live show up and going. Yeah. You can subscribe for $2 a month, $4 a month, or $8 a month. And just shout out to everybody, man. And then, one thing we didn't talk about. So I got this chick I be dealing with from time to time. And then I got another chick I used to deal with. And I just found out they are now dealing with each other. I feel like I should get an automatic threesome out of this deal. We should really be a couple. That's how I feel. We should really be a couple. Because, I mean, and I don't need too much details, but they enjoy me. Hey, I'll put it that way. And it's happened. One of them faking. But what do y'all guys take on that? If you date 2 women separately, and then you find out they're now dating each other, what are the rules with this? I think I deserve a threesome or a couple or something. Am I within my rights?
Well, why not? Yeah, sure. Yeah.
See? JB agrees with me.
Why not?
He has a degree from Harvard, so obviously I'm right.
Yeah, sure.
We'll talk about that more next week.
Right.
Let's get up out of here, man. And the tradition of the late great Kobe Bryant, Mamba out.